basically trying to corner Mike into going to therapy.
Can I just as okay, hold on. Very quick up top, we wanted to give a real special shout out thing to friend of the pod, longtime friend of the pod, Chris Cheney.
Wow, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Sometimes, just so people who know, you are a white dude.
I am.
I thought for a while that you might have been an Asian dude because sometimes people, because your last name is Cheney, and sometimes Asian people, this is kind of back in like the 90s when they wanted to be more assimilated, would spell their name Chen and then add in EY at the end. I had a friend who did that, who's an actress.
I also, a lot of people think my eyes are very Asian.
I didn't. Yeah, I was going to say that. I wanted you to say that because I didn't want to say that.
Now we can cancel you.
Now you're canceled. But no, Chris does a lot of the artwork for us, and you're a comedian and creator, I would say.
Yeah.
Is the word. You and we used to have a streetwear podcast together.
That's right. You were one of the original cast members of that. We started
Fun with Lawrence.
Yep, Deloach. Yep.
Yeah, that was great. A lot of fun. And you got something you're working on, and I wanted to just let you tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you, man. So if anybody is out there a fan of Pokemon, and you know someone that's a fan of Pokemon, this is gonna like hit.
This is the right podcast for Pokemon.
This is gonna hit him right in the feels. So last month, September 16th, was the 25th anniversary of the 25th episode of the original animated series where Ash gets his hat stolen, that iconic hat that everyone kind of like knows. They don't know what it is, but they know the hat. It gets his hat stolen by a Mankey. And
Jenny has no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, continue. Yes.
She's just like, yes.
I know the hat.
Yes.
Everybody knows the hat. He's kind of like Mario. It's like the M. It's like one of those things where you just kind of understand. It's like, oh, that's a Pokemon
It's a whole thing.
But what's special about this episode is he gets his hat stolen, and it's the only real time that he explains what it is and how he got it, which he explains to Brock and Misty. It's 1 of 100, and he had to do a mail-in contest in order to get the hat. So he said he sent like 1 million in, and then Misty was like, "Oh shit, I did that contest too, but I only sent 1 in." He's like, "Well, yeah, that's why you didn't get one. I got one because I sent in 1 million." And I've thought about this hat for a while because you would think that Nintendo and Pokemon would be smart enough to sell this hat at a high quality, at a readily available thing, because cosplays.
Yeah, they don't sell this.
Right.
This is not a hat you can get.
You can buy it,
like
but
a crappy one.
It's so bad.
Oh,
it's terrible. And they've made a range of them where like they did a New Era edition that only came out in Japan.
Yeah.
But it was like very limited, and like this is something where you would think like kind of like, so to hit on the streetwear tip, like Dunks, right? Like classic. You would think they would just constantly make these, but they don't. They made it like a hyper limited
limited thing. Mark McNary.
I have no idea what a dunk is. I was imagining Dunkaroos.
It's another Pokemon. Just keep it going.
It's another
Pokemon.
Okay.
It's really cool.
No, so what I did to honor this moment, because again, I've thought about this hat for years. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me why they're not doing more with this hat. Like the hat that you could buy is not readily available and high quality. Like more people on Etsy make this hat than Nintendo does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to commemorate the 25th anniversary of this moment where he explains what it is, I'm recreating the contest that Ash participated in to get the hat.
Whoa, so you're making the whole mail-in thing.
The whole mail-in thing. So I actually brought I don't know like what visually you guys
Yeah.
So I brought a stack with me. I made
hold it up
this
to them,
postcard. All you have to do is add a stamp to the back and then put your name and address if you win, where you would want the hat sent. I made 100 of the hat.
You made 100 of these hats.
Yeah, I made 100 of the hats.
You're like in the hole deep right now.
Yeah,
these hats.
I'm hemorrhaging money. And no one gets what I'm doing because they don't see it as like an experience piece.
Yeah.
I see.
So it's like the same way that you can go to like Harry Potter World and you can like get the wand.
Right, you go to the Ollivanders and buy that.
Where it was like
the whole thing.
It's an experience piece. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a P.O. box set up. There's a website, PokemonLeagueExpo.com. There's a downloadable version if you're like, say you're like across the country, not in New York or something, where you can download a version where you can just put in an envelope and mail to me. And yeah, I'm just mailing out the hat. So I'm just literally recreating the experience this kid has.
That's crazy.
It's selfishly sort of, again, like to commemorate the moment, but also it's just so more people have understand like why someone would do this. It's like to prove to other companies, because I am a designer, right, that I can take source material and then recreate an
Recreate a cool
experience. So
experience.
like if someone else wanted to hire me, say for another experience piece, that I could do. I mean, it's like proving that I could do that. So like it's not only like the production of the hat. So like I didn't design the hat. Again, like you can buy this. Like kids on Etsy are just cranking these out.
Right.
But it's the concept of the contest that that's what I'm designing. So it's like the production of the hat though. So like, again, I went through like 3 different samples, trying to nail the color, trying to do all this like different things to make sure that the hat itself was good.
Yeah.
Then like, it's like, all right, now I have to design the postcard. And then it's like, all right, through all the legal things of what a sweepstake is. And then like, all right, so now the promotion of it. So this is a part of it. So it's like, I'm trying to show like every step of the way that I can literally do like A to Z.
So like, so again, if people want to do this, they can just go to the website.
Yeah.
And that website one more time is
Pokemon League Expo. PokemonLeagueExpo.com. I had to like look at the card.
And then you can get this. You can print out this postcard.
Literally, it will just be a thing you could just print out. All the rules and shit are on it. You just put it in a mail, and it comes to me. And I've gotten so many entries across the country already.
That's
it's
amazing.
Really great. Yeah. What's crazy is like you forget how wide the range of Pokemon fans are.
Yeah, I mean it's even bigger than ever now, right?
Dude, because like, there's like segments. Like, so, Jen, you were talking about earlier off mic, you were like, I only know the original shit. So like there's people that are like only 1 to 151.
Yeah.
But then there's people who came and became fans with like black and white too.
Yeah, right.
There's a whole subsect of people who
all the different games that came out, all the other different.
They don't know about Missigno. They never did the rare candy trick. They just started with Pokemon Black and White, and like that's how they became Pokemon fans. So like the range of this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because even kids who like weren't with us when we were watching the original one, they're like, but that's the fucking hat.
Right.
That's crazy.
Everybody knows that. Yeah. So how long can people do this for?
So it's an exponentially long contest because I didn't know how long or short to do it, so I went with a long. So again, September 16th was when it aired in Japan.
Right.
When it aired in the US, it was October 9th, 2023. So I'm running this through both air dates.
I see.
So yeah, I'm really just going to be cranking like wheat paste. I'm going to go crazy with this shit. Like you're going to see wheat paste all over the New York City. Like I'm really going to dump money into this.
You guys got to check it out. Please, Chris is he's terrible with money. He can't do anything except 2 things: comedy and this experience design thing. And this is really slick. I'm really impressed with it.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Cool.
You're a moron otherwise. And I can't believe it. It's like all the brain cells have been focused on this, and it's really cool. I know that if Fumi were here, he would 100% do this because even though he would make fun of you, he'd be secretly he would be fucking sending in the million. That's
I got a special shout out to Fumi because I found, dude, like the weird archive stuff I'm finding, like in these weird crevices of the internet, just specifically looking for this hat. I've spent so much time just trying to figure out what to do with this hat. I found like this page from like a children's book where they didn't explain what the hat was, but they talked about other versions of the hat they were considering.
Yeah.
But it was in Japanese.
Right.
I had to hit Fumi. I was like, can you translate this for me? So like, he's been with me from the ground up where any Japanese question I've had, I've hit him and been like, can you explain this to me?
Oh no, this is a porn thing. All right, well, one more time, the website?
PokemonLeagueExpo.com.
So guys, check that out. And thanks for stopping by, Chris.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. You're like sitting there like you're waiting for like the SATs to start.
This is what I look like. I was smiling when I was doing the SATs, and I was like, let's do this.
How many times did you take the SAT?
Once. No.
Just once? Oh.
Twice. I was an ACT girl.
Oh, shit. ACT? Who fucking takes the ACT?
Me, twice. I got a 35, bitch.
Is that really good? I can't remember.
Yeah, out of 36.
Shit! Did you get into Stanford?
No, I didn't apply to Stanford. I didn't like the school.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't like it, and I was like, I don't want to be in Palo Alto. That's like, I grew up in that area.
Oh, that's right.
I don't want to be there.
All right. Well, welcome to the SAT podcast.
Where are we going to start from? That part?
We already started. I'm going to include the whole fucking thing.
No.
Yeah. I don't care.
Okay.
Everybody's going to know. You got a 35?
35.
Whoa.
35 on my ACTs.
I am pretty impressed with that.
Thank you.
Just because anytime anyone does almost perfect on something, I'm just like, that's not real. That's fucking fake. Welcome to the Asian Not Asian podcast, a podcast with your favorite Asian friends. I'm your host, Mike Nguyen.
I'm Jenny Arimoto.
And we would like to start with a quick shout out to our Patreon subscribers. So for those who are wondering, Patreon is the best way to support the podcast. And you can go to patreon.com/Asian.AsianPod. And if you are a Patreon, we do a bunch of stuff. We have hangouts and we slide into your DMs. We need to slide into some DMs. When you become a Patreon, make sure to message us your Instagram handle, because sometimes it can be hard to find you. If there was Peter Shoe, there's like a million Peter Shoes, and you gave us a bunch of money, and I don't know what your Instagram handle is, because I'm not gonna be able to find it by typing in Peter Shoe. So just to let us know what that is, and we can slide into your DMs. But we also go on the pod and we guess your ethnicity based on your name. So here it is. We have this one is. I think I know. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead. Nguyen. Noon is the first name. Like the time.
Yes.
Nikamborak. Yeah. Nikamborak.
Thai?
I fucked that up. I know I'm fucking that up. Nikamborak. Haha.
Can you spell it?
Nikomborik.
Oh my God.
Yo, this name takes a left, then a right, then a left, and it's like, yo, fuck, you don't even know what I am.
And I feel so stupid. I'm just a Jenny.
I'm a Michael.
I wish I had a cool name. I said Thai. Is that not
I think you wouldn't be...
Indonesian?
I don't think you would be wrong if Thai.
Yeah. Because I feel like Thai names are very like...
Yeah,
like
there's
that
like...
longer.
Yeah, I think... I'm going to go Cambodian.
Oh, yeah.
On this one.
Yeah.
Because I knew a bunch of Cambodian dudes, and one of them, first name was Bonvarak.
Okay.
First name.
Uh-huh.
I think actually their last names were really normal. Like, quote unquote normal.
Like shorter?
Yeah, shorter. Like Zhang. But the first names were all like, had a lot, Bonvarak was one of them.
Right.
So the Rirak at the end of here of Nguyen's name.
Uh-huh.
Is like, I'm gonna go Cambodian.
Reminds you. Okay.
But Nguyen,
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Okay, so let's kind of guess the personality of this person. Nguyen.
Oh,
They're
man.
actually, because my first thought was Nguyen feels like kind of right in the middle of the day, like kind of calm, chill, like not a night person, not like they're not going out. That's what you think.
Oh.
Really? This person?
Wait.
Party animal.
Yo.
Night owl. Club. Another club.
Mentirosa.
So it's like a person who comes off like chill, like, professional at work. But then when you see their actual personal life, they're going out.
Yo.
They're drinking. They are a party animal. They love Pitbull.
They're called, their name's Noon because they're out till noon.
Oh,
boom! Yeah! Coming out on CBS. It's Noon.
Gasoline.
Oh man, Noon. Well, you know what? Get some rest. Okay, make sure to stop by
rest.
Denny's. Get yourself a little bit of hash browns before you go
Drink
home.
a lot of water.
And just chill.
Chill.
What? And thank you for the money. And again, if you want to get up on this, patreon.com/Asian.AsianPod, and we'll guess your ethnicity and do all sorts of other fun stuff. We're supposed to go to Red Lobster. We still haven't yet because we've done other stuff, but we're going to do it soon. And we may drag Randall Park to it.
Yeah,
I would
that'd
love
be so
that.
fun.
And
He said yes last time.
He did. So we're going to hold him to it. One other quick announcement before we jump into the show is check out Hack City. We have tickets available for November 17th. That's a Thursday. November 17th is the next Hack City. That's a Thursday. It's at 7 o'clock. It's at Union Hall in Brooklyn. So we'll see you there. It'll be great. Jenny will be there.
It's my first Hack City in 2 months.
Yeah, she's missed it a couple times.
I know, I've been
and
traveling.
You'll be back, and we can't wait to have you back. Maybe you'll do some stand-up.
Probably not.
A character who does stand-up.
I mean, I'm going to be traveling leading up to it, so I probably won't have time.
You'll be a traveling character.
I'll improvise a character. It'll be everyone's nightmare. Come by.
First thing I wanted to talk about, usually we do kind of what kind of Asian were you this week? And I guess we could do that. Why don't you ask me?
Yeah, because we didn't do it last time.
Lob it up.
What kind of Asian were you this week, Mike?
I was a goodbye dinner Asian.
Interesting, because I also
You
was.
were also a goodbye dinner
Wow,
Asian.
we've hung out a lot.
We have.
Yeah, before these episodes.
So we went to a goodbye dinner for Dylan Adler, who's been on the pod a few times, and as we know, he's becoming a star.
He is.
So he's becoming
Fumi.
He's becoming Fumi.
He's becoming Fumi.
He's got a writing gig with James Corden. What a week to join.
I know.
James
What
Corden.
A week.
Wow.
This is Balthazar week when we're recording this.
Right, exactly. For people who don't know, the owner of Balthazar, which is a very nice restaurant in New York City, came at James Corden.
Yes. Banned him.
Ripped him a new asshole.
Yes. And then James Corden
apologized.
Talked to him.
Yes, apologized.
I don't know. It was a private apology.
We didn't see it.
We didn't see it. And then he was unbanned.
That ban was short.
It was very short.
Super short.
A couple hours, I would say.
Came back. I don't even know what a ban looks like at one of those places. If they have like a picture of James Corden up.
Do not let this
fucker in. So they unbanned him. He can come back on. But then people kept coming out with all sorts of like, James Corden once kicked my dog. You know? And James Corden was spitting my popcorn at a movie theater once. And,
right.
You know? It's like all these like horrible James Corden things.
Yeah.
Which I feel people really don't like James Corden. But I don't know why.
I think that he is... I think firsthand we've heard that he's a fine person.
I've heard that
interacting with him.
I've heard from people who work with him that he is a fine person.
Yes, but I've also seen on the internet a lot of stories of him maybe being not so great with people who work in the service industry.
I've heard that.
Yes.
So they need Dylan bad.
They need
over
Dylan
there. They're
so
like, we
bad.
need someone personable, talented,
the nicest person.
You
in
know,
the world.
great skin.
I hope he's listening to this.
Who, Dylan?
Dylan.
Yeah, this is for you, Dylan. And so they got Dylan, and so Dylan had a goodbye birthday at Wu's Wontons, which I'm ashamed to say, I had not been to.
Ever?
Mm-mm.
Same.
I had never even heard of it.
Oh, well, I did hear about it. It was on my to-go list, and I just assumed I would be impossible to ever get in, and we got in.
Yeah.
Someone made a reservation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Yeah, and this is like a legit Cantonese spot. I love Cantonese food. This is, I've mentioned this on the pod, I'm sure, but if you're an Asian person in California and you eat a lot of Chinese food, in general, you're eating Cantonese food. Cantonese people settled in the Bay Area, a lot of the Bay Area. So ate a lot of that. And so like, that's the style of Chinese food I like, like, crispy pan-fried noodles.
I love those noodles.
Yeah, and young chop fried rice, and that black bean oyster sauce, So that's kind of what Wu's Wontons was. So it was really good. And I went there with my most dadliest dadness.
You really did.
Sweater vest.
Yeah.
I was, when the soy sauce fish came out, I was using the two spoons and I was like chopping it up.
You're the one who chopped up the fish?
I didn't. They did an initial chop.
Yeah.
But then I was like scraping it all off and like I'd flip the bone over, the fish bone over.
Oh my! I didn't know you were doing all that work.
Man,
that's classic dad.
love that.
When we said we wanted a little bit more carbs, you took it upon yourself to get the carbs on the table, and I just was. Karen and I were watching you, and we're like, "Wow, he's really gonna get us some like noodles or something right now," because you were like not engaging with anybody, and you were trying to get like someone who works there to like pay attention to you. And you're like, my children need noodles now.
Young Me was there, and what's her name?
Kimmy
Yam was there, and Kimmy and Young Me were really doing all the ordering. You know, they really know all that place. So they were doing that, but I was trying to do my thing. I'm used to when I eat Chinese food like that, family style. I usually have the container of rice with me.
Yeah.
They kept bringing out like individual
bowls.
Like, what the fuck is this? You see 8 Asian people, you think we're going to have like 2? No.
Yeah.
I want the thing, whatever you're cooking the rice in, bring that out.
Yeah. Bring it all out.
Bring all of the rice.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we were enjoying, Brian Yang was there. Karen Chi. Fucking all-star dinner. Can I say too that I think... I took a story and I put it up on on my Instagram, and this happens to me all the time, but someone will see it, but like a third degree friend, and then they'll be like, oh, how does Mike know young me? That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Or some other famous person,
right?
You know, that I'm like hanging out with.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know, I do comedy too. I keep thinking, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, you know young me? I'm like, how are you hanging out with her? And I'm like,
we're just friends.
But I also do comedy and you never ask me about my comedy.
Exactly.
So that, I don't know if that ever happens to you.
Me? No.
No, I'm famous.
Everyone knows I'm famous. No, I'm just kidding. I think that I don't get the young me thing as much. Yeah. But I think maybe it's also because we're women.
Oh.
So like maybe it's like, oh yeah, they're two Asian girls who do comedy. They make sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of DMs in general.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of DMs either. So, and it's anytime I get a DM, it's for someone else.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you know this other person? Fuck you.
Yeah.
But that was a really nice dinner. We ate a lot of food. At those dinners, I feel I used to be, I used to eat like 10 bowls of rice at those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I felt like I ate maybe 4. So that was pretty good. But yeah, what did you think of the dinner?
The food, the whole thing?
Just the whole thing.
It was so fun. I hadn't really like I was in Detroit this past weekend for a wedding.
Yeah.
And I'd just come back, and I came back on Sunday, and Monday through Thursday, I basically didn't interact for fun with anyone. It was all like work stuff, like work or like comedy work, like writing. Yeah. And that was my first time like where I just like hung out with people since I was back in New York, and it was such a pleasure. You had some fire boots on. I know, I wore my new boots.
Boom.
But it was such a pleasure, and I think that I have this moment because I know kind of everyone individually, like from a fan standpoint or like an internet standpoint, first. Almost every person.
Oh, interesting. So you met them all,
throughout like the last couple of years is really when like, oh, they know who I am now. And I think I have these moments where I'm like, oh, these people, they're my friends now. Yeah. Like, we're just talking about like life stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's like really nice. And I also think I have these moments where I like pause and I'm like, wow, I'm just hanging out with a bunch of funny Asian people.
Yes.
And I think that is such for me, still a somewhat new experience. And I get so happy that I like have this little community of people that are just kind of like built in support network. Yeah. And I think that always makes me feel like really happy. I couldn't have imagined that 5 years ago, you know?
Well, I mean, I feel like even 5 years ago, it didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Or it was just like emerging.
Just beginning.
Yeah. So I think, I like to think that, you know, they're going to make the Netflix documentary about the emerging Asian American comedy scene.
Yeah.
We're like the Ramones of Asian comedy.
That's what my mom's always saying.
Yes.
You guys are like
the Ramones. 1972 at CBGB. You know, and, you know, in 30 years, they're going to be like, Jenny Aramoto, before she went crazy on a cocaine bender in 2035.
Used to wear collared shirts and leather boots and used to hang out with comedians.
Yeah. Before her tumultuous marriage with Harry Styles, she was.
Oh my God. I'm gonna marry Harry Styles?
No, but this is before he gains like 700 pounds or something.
Yeah.
No,
it becomes hugely problematic.
Yeah. Oh, massively problematic.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/Asian and get on your way to being your best self. Lately, with everything going on in my life and the world, I wish life had a user's manual. Like a big-ass manual that had an index and you could look up stuff like, what do I do about self-doubt? And it would tell you to turn to page 392 or something like that. Fortunately, there's BetterHelp Online Therapy. Therapy can be the closest thing to having a guide to the gadget called you. Therapy is great because it gives you the tools to assess what's going on with your life. I've gone to therapy and I use it literally every day to help me work through my problems. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Asian. That's betterhelp.com/Asian. You know the holiday season is almost upon us. And you know what that brings to mind? Butts. Specifically, my butt. More specifically, my clean butt thanks to the Hello Tushy bidet. If 2 turtle doves pooped on you, would you wipe it off? You'd wash it. Hello Tushy bidets cleans your bum 2 times better than wiping and prevents poop particles from spreading to your hands and everything you touch. It attaches to your existing toilet, requires no electricity or additional plumbing, and cuts toilet paper use by 80%. Hello Tushy bidets pays for itself in a few months. Every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. Whoa! See why millions of people already love Hello Tushy with over 100,000 5-star reviews and take care of their business the cleaner way. Save $30 when you go to hellotushy.com/ANA and give the gift that keeps on cleaning. Add yourself to your holiday shopping list and save $90 when you buy 2 Tushies this holiday season. Go to hellotushy.com/ANA to save big on gifts. That's hellotushy.com/ANA for the holiday gift of the season.
Yeah, so this is like us all hanging out before really Dylan becomes famous, and I guess Young Me and Karen and everybody else. Okay, but yeah, it was real cool. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to ask you. How was your wedding? Your Detroit wedding? Because you were the MC.
Yeah, I MC'd. I mean, basically, these are my friends. We're very, very good friends, but I'm kind of like a friend that came in hot at the end of the during the pandemic. We became very, very close.
Oh,
like we were always friends in New York. Yeah, okay. But I was like pre-pandemic. My schedule was not open for friendship. Like I was so busy with like work and comedy.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah,
and so then when the pandemic happened is really when I became friends with people. So these are like friends, my New York friends that I became close with in the pandemic. We became like a little bubble. And we had this like yearly or weekly tradition of seeing each other every Friday.
Cute.
This is my friend that I would take an edible with and go on a walk in Central Park. But they got married in Detroit, and it was a lot of fun. I basically conned my way into stage time, and because I wasn't part of the wedding party, but I was like, you know, I could like curate the vibe is basically what I said. Yes. And they're like, why don't you MC? And
vibe
I was like,
curator.
Great.
Yes.
And let me just say, one, the power of being the MC is that everyone knows who you are at the end of the night.
You become a little tiny micro celebrity.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And that was great.
Yeah.
And also, too, I learned how comfortable I am on mic now. And that is because of this podcast and because of Hack City.
Because of Hack City, because you're holding the mic.
And just like hosting.
Yeah.
And you gave me some tips. Do a little bit of crowd work. You know, drop a little jokes here and there. Yeah. And just kind of like keep it moving. But I made sure to interact with the crowd. And I think people love that.
Yes.
And it was like really, really fun. Beautiful wedding in Detroit. Like, just the fall color. It was gorgeous. And I was like, my friends have really good taste. Their suits were great. The food was really good. It was really fun. And I danced my butt off with this like live band, which was really cool. But I will say, very white wedding. So I was kind of like out of my element a little bit, where I was like, wow, there's a lot of like white people here who are like all cousins. Do you know what I mean? Like, I there is something where I'm like, that's right. Like, white people have families. That's like so insane for me to say. But like the families, obviously, like it's like when I see an Asian baby, I react more to a white baby. It's just like, that's what I am, what I look like and what I'm used to. And so I had this moment when I was like, oh my God, this is how white families work. Like, I think I saw the inner workings of a big white family in the Midwest.
Can I say that this is kind of before I learned more about white people, but I felt that whites, as I became friends with more white people, I realized that white family structures are more complicated, I think, than Asian ones. Because I remember I called my friend once, and it was like around the holidays. Yeah. And I was like, oh, who's over? And I was like, oh, so it's my dad, but then my dad's new wife, and then my half brother, and then my half brother's new wife, and you know what I'm saying? Whereas I feel with Asian, at least my family, it's like these are my aunts and uncles. They all have one. It's just this is my grandpa and grandma, and then these are my cousins, and it's like a very neat family tree.
I see what you're saying.
That's how I thought.
So you're basically saying white people can get divorced and remarried.
They get divorced and remarried like crazy, but then they all like maintain those relationships, whereas I feel like if an Asian person suffered the shame of divorce, they'd be like, well, now, Aunt Kimmy is not allowed to the thing.
Yeah.
And if she has a new guy, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or we'll have a separate thing for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I could see that. I think for me, I grew up in in the Bay Area where my grandparents, one set is here, but the other, most of my family is not near me.
Yeah.
They're in Japan.
Yeah.
Or they're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I had my little tiny family, my cousins are in Japan. So I think I had this crazy moment where I showed up and I was like, this is a huge family.
Yeah.
And they all grew up next to each other.
Yeah.
Like cousins, and then or just family friends and their cousins. It was this moment where I was like, this is what it's like to just be based here, because I don't know what that feeling is to have a ton of aunts and uncles just be around the corner.
Yeah.
And then other sets of grandparents, great aunts and uncles just near you.
Yeah, one town over or something.
Exactly. And so I had this moment where I'm like, I'm sure if I was in Japan, if my parents never left, everyone was there, this would be okay, yeah, obviously in a lot of ways very different, but also you have that same feeling of my cousins are right there, my other cousins are right there. But I don't know that life where I only have my siblings and my aunt and my grandparents here. And so it's it was always just 8 of us. And so I think it was just a moment where I was like, wow, our experiences are totally different.
Yeah.
Your sense of home is way bigger than mine.
Yeah.
And I now understand why you talk about your cousins in a certain way.
Right. Because you all grew up together.
Yeah, exactly. I went to get drinks with my friend because I was part of the wedding party, so I didn't get to go early. So I got drinks and I with a friend that I met who is my friend who was getting married, family friend.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, do you want to join us? We're doing kind of a family reunion dinner. So our drinks. And so we were at a bar and it was full of white people and they all know each other. And they go to 1 million weddings a year together. And everyone's a sister or brother or cousin. They all grew up together. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what? There's so many people here. And they're all like, oh, we saw you 2 weeks ago at that other wedding. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what this feeling is.
That's true.
Do you relate to that?
Well, I feel with immigrants, right? You couldn't port your whole family over.
Yeah.
So you do have these really tiny families.
Yeah.
Right? I know some people it's just them and their parents.
Yeah.
I'm kind of lucky because my mom came over here before the country fell. And then once it did, a bunch of, her parents came and then her sisters and her brothers, except one who got captured by the North Vietnamese and was in jail.
Okay.
And then once he got out, he came over with his family. And so we had pretty big family reunions.
Yeah.
But it was very clear who made it, who didn't.
Yeah.
Because my dad's side, for example, a lot of them were in Vietnam and so they didn't leave or maybe they came later and we didn't reconnect with them. So, but I was always kind of jealous of families where it's oh, the Jensen family reunion. They all have fucking t-shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
They don't have that. It would be weird to have a Nguyen family reunion because it does seem like there would be a lot of Nguyens, but at the same time, each individual Nguyen family is kind of relatively small.
Yeah.
We don't have the big cookout where it's all the Jensens all meet up. Where are you guys? We're the main Jensens. Yeah. Oh, well, over there, come over there. That was the Florida Jensens. Yeah. So there's this, that's just a different kind of thing. But yeah, to see so many people, especially I think the Midwest, they're all going to be on top of each other.
Yeah.
In craziness.
It's I just couldn't believe that's what family structures could look like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was jealous. I was just more in awe. I was
I'm kind of jealous. I think I'm
people.
jealous.
I mean,
I love big old family things,
I think I can't even wrap my head around it. Yeah. It's so foreign to me.
Yeah. I guess you don't know what you're missing out or
exactly.
Not, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you have a little wedding makeout?
I wish.
Really?
So in the jokes,
you could totally. I mean,
no, everyone's married.
Oh,
I'm in the Midwest.
Okay,
and everyone's married with kids.
Yeah,
it was next level. I made a joke. One of my jokes that I did was I would do crowd work. So I'd be like, "Who's from Michigan?" We know whatever. I did that thing. And then the third question was, "And who knows a single bachelor in New York, preferably Brooklyn, who will be willing to go on one date with me?" I went. Everyone laughed, and then I said, "Can you just shout out that person's phone number?" And then it got quiet. They were like, and I was like, all right, so you guys just want me to die alone? That's all right. But I like even threw it out there because
That's funny.
Didn't want to do a joke that makes fun of anyone
right.
other than myself.
You can make fun of yourself.
So I'll just make fun of myself, and no one offered up anything. Everyone is married, engaged, children, like everyone.
The dream. Why do we move here?
I don't think that's the dream.
Yeah, for me it is.
It is.
You know? This is why I shouldn't have fucking stupid comedy fucking poisoned my brain.
I know.
And now, I could be out there.
Now you're hanging out with a bunch of Asians on a Thursday night.
At a fucking Chinese restaurant when I could be at another family wedding at the Jensen family reunion in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's what you're missing out on.
With 400 other white people who are all wearing the same sweatshirts.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. That's my cousin. That's my other cousin. Those are the Florida Jensens. They're crazy.
Yeah, I call them my cousins, but we're not really.
We're not really cousins. Yeah. Man, that sounds sweet, dude. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
The other thing I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
This is kind of big news, and I feel it's so funny how the world of, we're talking about this dinner, this New York City comedy dinner. Mm-hmm. Comedy's small in Asian comedy, Asian American comedy. We pretty much know everyone in the whole world.
Yeah,
we're probably at most 1 degree away from name anybody.
That's true.
1 degree away from anybody.
Totally.
But especially in the scene where, there's not a lot of Asian American comedians, not a lot of Asian American podcasts. Mm-hmm. And one of them just announced they're not going to be continuing on. I'm talking about Feeling Asian with Brian and Young Me. Mm-hmm. They've been out for a while. I think they had like a 3-year run, which is pretty long. And, they recently, I think this last week, they announced that they're going to stop. Mm-hmm. I think they have another month. They have like 3 or 4 more guests or something like that.
Yeah. They're going till mid-November.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's weird talking on a podcast about another podcast.
I know.
But at the same time, those are our homies.
They're our friends, yeah.
For a long time, Fumi saw them as our rival.
Well, yeah. Do you know what Fumi DM'd me?
Uh-oh. What?
I posted our live show, and then he goes, Feeling Asian's ending. It's now time for you guys to rise up. And I was like, okay. And I said, my response was, absolutely, it's our time. I'm going to talk about my feelings so hard now. I don't know if he liked that response. He just kind of hearted and moved on. And I was like, okay. I think for him, this is like we're winning now.
We're winning.
And for me, I was like, this is a chance for me to talk about feelings about broaching on their topic or subject or whatever.
Yeah, I did have a talk with Brian, and I was like, how do we absorb your fan base? But I wasn't very serious about that. But I did want to talk, first of all, our feelings about Feeling Asian.
Yeah.
Just, I guess, in general, but then it's particular about them ending.
I love Feeling Asian. Well, I love Brian and Young Me.
Yeah.
But I also just love Feeling Asian because I love talking about feelings.
Yeah.
And in the last 3 years, I had my big kind of moment with my identity and my feelings and going to therapy and all of that. And so really, that podcast really aligned with kind of my journey that I was going on. And to be honest, my episode when I went on, which was 2021, because I was blonde then, was
blonde era.
A big moment for me to talk about. It was my first time, because it was before I did this podcast.
Yeah.
It was my first time where I was really, really just showed up to a thing and was myself. Because almost everything I was going on as a character, I was improvising or something. Mm-hmm. And that was my first time where I was like, I would like to talk about this topic, about my identity, and I would like to be honest about it. And it was not that funny. But I just like straight up talked about my journey to understanding how I like align with white supremacy, my the ways in which I was shaped by society, and what I thought my value was, etc. And so Feeling Asian holds a very deep part of my heart. Because I think the topic was just kind of parallel to my life. And then through that, I became friends with Brian and Young Me, who I just like straight up hang out with.
Yeah.
Now regularly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's very bittersweet. I'm like happy for them that they've made this decision on their own and that they're have so many things going on too because of this podcast in part. But also obviously a little bit sad.
Yeah, totally.
But also we're winning now.
We'll rise up. That's what Fumi, everything in Fumi's mind is an anime.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the part where like the guy like digs deep and like, you know, reaches the next Scion level or whatever analogy you want to use. And that's Fumi's mind.
Yeah.
It's like, we will win. I can never be defeated.
How about you, Mike?
I'm the same. I'm bummed out because, and I've been on it twice. Once where it was just me and we just like kind of just got to know me.
Yeah.
Which was fun. There's so few times where you can like unbridledly just talk about yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And that was like a cool time to do it. And another time I was on, it was me and Julia Shiplet and I think someone else. And we just talked about relationships. And
I heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I represented the just married basic mainstream line of moving to the Midwest and meeting up with the Jensens. It's funny because I think before I heard they were kind of stopping the show, I was like, you know, there was something in particular where I really wanted to go back on and talk about it. I can't remember now. It wasn't like obviously anything devastating, but it was something where I was like, you know what, I would love to go and talk about this, and I'll where can I do it? On Feeling Asian. So it was like, it's almost like Feeling Asian was kind of like, you know, a little safe space. Yeah. You know, where you can go on there and kind of not vent, but just kind of explore this feeling for a while. And I think that was what was cool about it. Yeah. And it's kind of a bummer that like I have this thing that I want to talk about and shit, I have my own fucking podcast.
I was like, why don't you just do it here?
I know, but it was just like, I think that Feeling Asian it wasn't as obsessed with like everything has to be super funny. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not that we're funny all the time, but like, you know, we kind of have to put a little bit of a premium on it. Right. But for them, they were just like, you know, just talk about feelings and if it's fun,
it's fun.
Sure.
And it's not,
So like that was cool. And it's a bummer that you know, we don't have that anymore because now I have to go on to fucking, I don't know.
Well, what if we just did a corner?
A what?
A corner. Like on this podcast.
Oh, a corner. Oh, you metaphorically, you mean? Yeah. I thought you meant literally like we go into the corner.
No, you know how we, you crouch in the corner and you cry by yourself and you figure it out. That's what I mean by corner. Go be alone and don't talk to me. Don't burden me with this stuff.
That's why there's a litter box over there to catch your tears.
Yeah. No, I mean like what if we did like, as an ode to Feeling Asian, we have like Feelings Corner.
That is, shut up.
Can we talk about notifications for a second? Who actually leaves those sounds on anymore? Well, besides that kind, that's another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business.
Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere.
Whether your thing is vintage teas or recipes for ghee, start selling with Shopify and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of your favorite businesses worldwide.
With Shopify, you'll create an online store in your vibe, discover new customers, and grow the following that keeps them coming back.
Shopify has all the sales channels sorted so your business can keep growing, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram.
And thanks to 24/7 support and free libraries full of educational content, Shopify's got you every step of the way.
Mm-hmm. It's how every minute new sellers around the world make their first sale with Shopify, and you will too.
Shopify makes selling simple so you can put yourself and your ideas out there. Whether your thing is making ebooks or earrings, Shopify makes your success possible.
When you're ready to launch your thing into the spotlight, do it with Shopify, the commerce platform backing millions of businesses down the street and around the globe.
Go on, try Shopify for free and start selling anywhere.
This is Possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/Asian, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Asian to start selling online today. Shopify.com/Asian.
Have you been searching for something to fill that void in your heart?
Are you looking for the ultimate meaning of life?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have those answers, but we've got another great podcast for you to check out.
Worst Asian Podcast.
Yes, you heard that right. Worst Asian Podcast, where a couple Asian American millennials give you our shitty opinions on all things Asian.
Ever been to a bar and you kept eavesdropping on the loud-ass dudes at the next table? Guess what? That's us.
It's guaranteed A-tier banter, only possible from two lifelong friends based out of Queens, New York.
What's that you say? You prefer something a little more real?
We also have fun chats with some of the top personalities in the Asian community.
Past guests of the podcast include Paul Lee, aka Appa from Kim's Convenience.
Miss America Emma Burrows, the first Korean American to ever be crowned.
Stefan Kim, unarguably America's sexiest Asian journalist.
Search Worst Asian Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts or visit www.worstasianpod.com.
See you soon.
What? I mean, I'm serious.
I can tell from your body language that you're like really want this.
I do.
You're like,
I really would love it.
You know, I mean, that's the thing I wanted to talk about. Just like for the rest of the pod is just like, you know, how do we kind of either make that space or change if we needed to change this own podcast? Because I've been kind of trying to think about how we move on. You know, we're recording this October 22nd, so this will be out like in November.
A couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to next year, you know, we're going to do some planning.
2023
for 2023.
planning. Yeah.
Right.
H1 2023. What's our goal?
Exactly. What does that look like? And we'd like to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, everyone who listens, and we've had long-time listeners and people who are pretty new, and you know, there's different things that we could do. One is Feelings Corner, okay, where we sit in the corner and talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally valid,
Yeah.
and I think that'd be cool. You and I also had a talk after the dinner on the subway ride home, where you said this interesting thing, because I was sort of like, my Instagram's kind of all over the place. I do like stand up, and then I do whatever, different like sketches or whatever, and I was saying like, you know, maybe it's too much. And you said, oh, don't worry about Instagram. It's kind of like you can just do whatever you want, but podcast should be a little bit focused.
Yeah.
Which I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the question. What do we focus on?
I know.
Yeah.
I think that and when you guys started this podcast, it really was a time when there wasn't a lot of conversation being had
For sure.
about
Yeah.
Asian American identity, experience, etc. I think the conversation has since moved forward a lot and has become much more nuanced, and it's not as
I hope so.
quite like as, I don't know, basic or simple or foundational as it
Yeah.
was back then. I mean, I think individually I feel that way about myself as well.
Yeah.
So when I said that, I think what I meant was you have to create something that you're going to be proud of at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And I think to do that requires a little bit of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that like Instagram stuff, yeah, but you can't optimize for Instagram too much. Like you just have to like do what you do and just like
let
hope
it
it.
rip a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
whatever you're proud of, just put it out there and then
see.
hope it does
Yeah,
well.
that makes sense.
But then like I was like podcasting, I feel like it would help to have a little bit more format. Like though I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if it's not even like we don't have to do Feelings Corner every week, but if we could have like a yellow like a yellow card when you like a flag on the play when you want to talk about something.
Fuck.
Like when you're like, you know what? I want a Feelings Corner right now. You just say
Feelings Corner. You throw
this
the
week
flag.
I want Feelings Corner. Yeah, you throw the flag. Feelings Corner. But
Feelings Corner.
yeah,
10 yards.
10 yards.
Repeat first down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But we're not going to become Feeling Asian.
No.
But I do think that the strength of Feeling Asian was that you knew what their brand was.
Oh, that's true.
And I think with Asian Not Asian, I think before with Fumi, it was like dude corner, Asian dude corner. And then I swooped in and kind of made it confusing because I want to talk about our astrology signs and how our feelings are this week. But
Can I ask you though, if we do Feelings Corner, will it be, because for me, I have the same feelings week to week where I'm trash, everything sucks, and I'm trying to not have a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel I would talk about that every single week. Would that
Really?
be, not every single week, but as a theme, especially for the last couple of years with pandemic.
yeah,
It's better now with my son.
Yeah.
That's like the two things I would talk about. I would talk about mild spiraling with, look at this cute picture of my son.
yeah.
Those are like the two things.
Yeah.
Would that be two of the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I just have a million feelings all the time.
No, that's fine.
I think you can talk about all those feelings of like not feeling like you're enough and all of that. And I think every week to week, probably what caused that is different.
Oh, word.
That's kind of what therapy is.
So we should
I'm basically trying to corner Mike into going to therapy.
can I, just as, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, flag on the play.
Feelings flag. 10 yards, repeat first down. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I don't know. The referee does the
referee
hold.
does the wrist thing.
Yeah.
This is holding.
Yeah, and then I'm
face
like,
mask.
and then I'm the coach of the team. Like, what do you mean?
This is bullshit.
Look at the team.
That's bullshit. Fuck. And then you got to like go on your mic and talk to your offensive coordinator. All right, what do you do? We need a new plan here. Here's the thing I was thinking about recently is I don't know if I can afford therapy.
It's really expensive. The only reason I can is because my company covers it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have a kid and it's not like super expensive, like day to day. It's not like he's like sitting there hoovering up all this food or whatever. Yeah. But there's like things that come up.
Of course.
And then
like, long-term planning.
Childcare is like a big one. I have to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh well, like I guess I could cut out of some other things. Because like how much is therapy? It's like a couple $100 a month.
Yeah, I mean it depends
obviously.
Yeah, it depends. You can find sliding scale therapists. You can, but based on need. But some therapists are like $300 a week.
Right. Well, fuck. Are you serious? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I mean, fuck. We just fell into feeling Asian, didn't we?
We
just started talking about therapy.
Yeah.
You're good, Jenny. You're really good.
I mean, like, wow. I love it. I love talking about this stuff.
Wow. What else, just as a little brainstorm right now, okay, put on my strategy hat.
Yeah.
What are the other pillars that you sort of would enjoy? Me
personally, I would love to talk about pop culture.
Okay.
Like, the last episode was mostly pop culture. It doesn't need to be fully pop culture, but like, with Jess.
With Jess. We just talked Jess Tom, yeah.
But I love talking about pop culture because I'm consuming culture all the time.
Right.
And so I want to talk about it. We're not consuming the same culture.
Not at all.
At all.
No.
But I think there's something interesting about talking about something. You don't have to talk about once again every week, but I love talking about culture.
Okay. Give me a little sneak peek here, Jenny. What's the little pop culture thing
of this week?
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up last episode. It was really Carly Rae Jepsen versus Taylor Swift's new album.
That's right.
There was the article that came out from the Daily Mail about Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde's relationship.
Oh.
Have you not been following the Don't Worry Darling drama?
I have been watching that. I tried not to read too much into it because I don't like any of those people.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm just like, if they're all suffering, good.
Right.
No, that's kind of mean. But like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
It's like nothing that you need be part of.
Yeah.
I say I don't need to be a part of it, and then I think I just love gossip.
Oh yeah.
But I've been following it. I also watched the movie, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But what's even more tantalizing about it is the drama kind of surrounding it.
Sure.
And I think it's, first of all, fascinating that the nanny went to the Daily Mail to have this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
She must have gotten paid a lot of
money.
Number two, the PR strategy around it, because so the nanny kind of like dropped a lot of like, basically made it cleared up the picture of the experience to be that Olivia like very much fell in love with Harry and then just like left Jason high and dry.
Oh.
And it wasn't, they were engaged.
Yeah.
And was kind of a little bit absent in the whole thing. And then Jason kind of took it really hard and perhaps drank. And then both of them did not treat the nanny with a lot of respect. And in a way, like long term, like I think it was like a very bad experience for her. Which is interesting. And then there was this whole thing about the salad dressing. She made salad dressing for Harry, which was the part that everyone got hung up on.
Okay, so now I remember reading something about
the salad
dressing memes on Twitter, and I was like, "What the fuck is everybody talking about?"
Totally. And then the PR strategy from, I believe, Jason and Olivia's side was to release a joint statement to be like, "None of this is real." And I was like, "What an interesting like I just like to see people's reactions to things and the way they like deal with it."
Yeah.
This is why I never want to be famous.
Yeah.
Because this is my nightmare. And also my friend and I were talking and she was like, well, I think we can all confirm that being famous people are nothing like us. And I was like, yes, our lives are not the same at all.
Wow.
Like I don't relate. They're like, he was shooting in London and his nanny did blah, blah. And then she was shooting in whatever in Palm Springs. And then she was in a hotel that was $1,700 a night and the kids couldn't go. And I was like, this is an unrelatable experience for all of us.
Right.
So I would like to talk about pop culture, but I'm also very plugged in like that.
You are very plugged in.
Yeah. And I think you would be like just sitting there like, okay.
I would be then waiting for my turn to talk about UFC 280,
Which I'd be down to talk about.
Really? No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
I don't want to hear about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu anymore. But...
Oh, there's so much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. So it's Oliveira versus... I think... Okay. This is good.
Okay.
The fact that we have very different interests.
Yeah.
Although feelings
Yeah.
flag, I think I like feelings flag.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's the how do we say direction? Because like it's not like we're reinventing everything.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like the loss of feeling Asian has made me rethink what is the
trajectory.
What is the niche we can fill?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of podcasts right now where I was just doing some podcast research and like everybody's like, we're talking about sex, we're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
Why do guys not call back a girl when his balls are something balls?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, I'd rather talk about salad dressing at this point, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to put out something fun.
I just want to have fun. I mean, our last Patreon hang, I kind of brought up, is there anything that you want us to talk about?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes.
And the DMs that I get from listeners, and I feel like the conversations we have on the Patreon hangs, it seems like what people like is us being very honest about week to week, like what's happening in our lives.
That's true.
And being transparent about that stuff.
That's true.
And then they do want us to cover like kind of like different topics.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think we have to be like super, super focused, but I think we can like maybe have conversations about our lenses on things. Like I know religion didn't come up. We kind of touched on it when I brought up my friend. But like we can have more broad episodes that we talk about our experience with like those topics. Someone else brought up shrooms.
Oh, yes. Psychedelics.
That's right. Psychedelics. Experience with psychedelics.
Yo.
What was the other topic? Hair came up once.
Oh, I don't have any. Yeah.
Hair care.
That's cool.
Yeah. I feel
I mean,
like there are things we can talk about.
That's true. Okay. I like that.
But this is also open to whatever else you guys, and if you want it to be just like broing out, I can do my best. I can like really try.
You're sitting there drinking a Monster Energy drink.
I'm like, crypto. But I don't know anything about it, so I keep screaming crypto.
Just crypto.
Yeah.
That would totally work at most UFC events, actually.
I'd be like, am I the Bitcoin? Ah!
Okay. Well, we want to hear what y'all have to say about, what would you like to hear us talk about?
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Yeah. Think of this as, this isn't an Asian podcast apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a shifting of different things.
I can also do a dating corner. That's just for me. God.
Should we do a dating corner right now?
No, I'm just saying if feelings corner dating. It's just like my life now, just projected onto this microphone.
and then me just going,
yeah, just reacting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You haven't been on any dates recently?
I haven't been on any dates.
Oh, right.
I've been really busy.
Right.
With life. And I'm supposed to go on 3 dates before the end of the month.
Yeah.
I've gone on none.
You have your app set up?
Yeah, I just set it up. Everyone's boring.
You have matches?
Yeah, but the conversations don't go anywhere. And I feel like I'm bringing a lot to the table.
Yeah,
I'm asking funny questions.
Yeah.
I was talking to my therapist about this week. I'm like, I just think I'm like not good at dating. Or like I'm too judgmental.
I was going to say, do you think it would be better in the Midwest, but I should think it much worse for you.
No, I think it'd be worse.
Because it'd be all like a lot of dudes named Taylor. And
yeah, and I think like, even at this wedding, he was very sweet. He was like one of the, like, part of the large family, her new husband. Very, very sweet Danish guy. But the second he heard I was Japanese, he was like, oh, you're Japanese? That's so cool. I love Japanese people. I used to work with a Japanese guy. I was like, what
just in general, just loves Japanese people?
Yeah. Like,
wow.
And it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, like that's great, but I don't know how to react to this.
Yeah.
Like this conversation is a conversation that feels very outdated, like the tone of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, this is probably what it'd be like if I was in a very, very white area.
See, that's like a conversation I feel happens outside of the bubble that we're in.
Yeah.
Do you know
We're
what
in
I'm
a
saying?
very, very small little bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like as you go outside, then people are like, Japan,
I know.
ni hao.
I know. And you're
You
like,
know?
yeah.
Yes, ni hao too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're just like, just accept it.
Right.
And, you know,
because it's
yeah.
just, you don't need to fight every
Yeah.
fight.
You know what? We're at a Cheesecake Factory. You have to keep going.
Yeah. I'm so tired reading this menu. I can't have this conversation. This menu is so long.
I would love that. I'm gonna have a Patreon where I send Jenny Aramoto
Mm-hmm.
to do dates in the Midwest, and you have to take 2 dates, whatever, per trip,
Yeah.
and just going out with dudes. Out
I
there.
did not know that people just go on like business trips and then they go on dates while they're there. Like stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the app and it's location based. And
Yes.
so then it'll be like in town for 3 nights. And I'm like, you want to spend your 3 nights in New York going on a date with a random person? To me, that's something I would never want to spend my time doing.
But do you think what they're really doing is they're just trying to hook up?
Hook up?
Yeah. Isn't that?
That probably
I
is
thought
it.
that's what that was for.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying.
I'm so innocent. Like,
How would we have a long-term relationship if you're going to move away?
Karen and I were talking about this on Thursday. We're like, wow, like sometimes when it got a little chaotic and the conversation became more about like dating and sex, we both were like, like we didn't
you know
know how
what's
to
funny
handle it.
during the dinner, because like Kimmy or Yomi would start saying something like that, and then I would hear like this little chatter in the corner, like, so what do you think about this? I'm not a big cashew fan,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Karen and I turn around, we start talking about books. Like we were just like, like that was my reaction right now when you were like, yeah, do you think they just want to hook up? I was like, what? People do that? I'm fully 31 years old.
But what about books?
I was like, I thought they just want to make a genuine connection while they're on their business trip. For
I don't
3
know,
nights.
maybe.
Maybe.
I doubt it, but maybe.
See, to me, like the idea of like meeting a stranger for one of my 3 nights in New York City sounds like a nightmare. Like I'd rather go to a Broadway show by myself than do that.
I'd rather go to the library.
Yeah, I'd rather go to the library.
And
read a couple books.
Read some books. Okay. Well, if you know what, let us know what you want this podcast to be about. Do you want it to be about books? Do you want it to be about
Me just stream of consciousness talking about dating?
Yeah. If you want to talk about UFC 280, we can talk about that. We can talk about all sorts of stuff. But we're here to serve you. So you let us know. You can follow us on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod, and you can find me on there at Nice Pants Bro.
And I'm at Jenny Orimoto.
We haven't done a voicemail in a little while, but we're still getting them. I'd love to hear voicemails. If you want to leave us a voicemail, that's 646-809-7231. And we've talked about this at the beginning, but November 17th is our next Hack City show. That's a Thursday. That's at Union Hall in Brooklyn. So grab some tickets and say hi.
Yeah, come
and
hang.
You know, if you're here for only a few days, come by.
And you want a genuine connection
want
with
a
2 podcast co-hosts, come by.
Well, okay, you did it all sexy. So like, you know, it was
A genuine emotional connection where I question you about your therapy and what's stopping you from going. Come by.
the cost. Okay, so, but yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for everything. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.